Hello and welcome to our off-grid property here in Central Portugal, and I have to say the last 2 weeks have been a nightmare. One of the challenges we've been facing here on our property is the ground. Our soil is very much clay based, and in the summer it's rock solid, it's hard to work with, and then a lot of rain, it just turns into mud straight away. And we usually park our van right there, and as soon as we wanted to get out we had problems and we almost got stuck. And we did that a few times. We figured out a temporary solution would be to bring as much gravel as we can in the van, but obviously there's only so much we can bring in the van. We've been doing multiple trips. In between we've been staying somewhere else. Every time we would come back to the property we would bring 10 bags of stones to then distribute on our access road, and that did help to an extent, but then it kept raining and it kept raining and it kept raining. There was a stream running through the tracks that we have created driving back and forth, and because where we are parked is pretty low, all the water was just coming towards us. So we decided to park right at the front of the property. That's where we know we're not going to get stuck. And it creates new challenges. One of them being, we're far from the caravan now, so when it's raining we just stay in the van. We're far from our electrical solar supply, but luckily we've got enough cable to reach the van. That spot that we are parking there, the internet's really bad there, so every time I need to work we go somewhere else. It's just a new set of challenges that we haven't been dealing with before. When we bought this property in November, we came to park here for a few days, the rain came and we got stuck here for the first time. So we knew we're going to need to tackle this as soon as possible. Then we came here in the summer, it was all fine, so this sort of fell on the back burner. Now we're at a stage where we are trying to figure out a solution, and we want to find a solution that's going to work long term. And the ideal solution would be to lay landscape geotextile fabric along the road, then bring a lorry full of stone, cover it. That would be the ideal solution. However, we're in Portugal and we don't even know where to start looking for this particular landscape fabric. I was hoping to bring it from the UK to here and then just order a lorry full of stone to come to our property, dump the stones there at the back, and then we can distribute them forward. Option 2 would be to just bring the stone and just dump it straight and hope for the best. I know that's what our neighbour has done, so I know it can work. The problem with that is, even if we get a big truck full of stone up to our property, because it's now rainy season and because all this ground is mud, the only place they're going to be able to dump is right at the front of the property, which is where we drive in. That then means more work for us to get it distributed along this road here. My plan was to dump it there and then, take a few days or weeks or whatever, how long it takes, to just distribute it along this road there. Or even better, get the truck to drive all the way to the back, tip it and drive forward as it's dumping the stone. That would be even better. But now there's no way we can get a truck on this road. So what we're going to have to do is probably dump the stone right in the front, right where the van is. So that's going to create problems accessing the land, which means we're going to have to stay off site and come here when it's not raining to try and get everything distributed towards the back. So that's challenge number 1.
Now that the weather has changed and we've packed all the way down there, it's too cold to sleep in the trailer, so we're sleeping in the van. I'm going to take everything that I need from the trailer and put it in the van, since I don't want to be coming in here every single day if I don't need to.
Challenge number 2, our shed. But all this was flooded. All this was flooded. All of the stuff that was here got wet. And all because of, well, if you look here, you can see outside. There we go. So the roof needs looking at. We've paid €500 for this caravan, and it was always meant to be a shed to store tools, and then hopefully in the future, when we have a more permanent workshop, we could renovate it. Let me know in the comments whether you think we made a good deal on this, because I'm kind of starting to doubt it now. This has brought another set of challenges. The last thing I want to be thinking about is keeping all my tools and screws and whatever dry. But that's what I had to do during the biggest storm, and that's fine, something to deal with. And unfortunately, the best thing I could have done so far is use a tarp above that window where it's leaking, which has actually stopped it. And then I've got another tarp there, along with some rubber carpet thing and a lot of stones keeping it down to temporarily plug that hole that, you know, the water's been pouring in through. I think the best solution for this will be to get a 8 by 12 meter tarp and have it across the whole trailer. Figure out a way of attaching it to the ground, which I'm probably going to use camping ground pegs and bungee ropes. Is it going to fly away? You'll find out in the next episode. Anyway, that's the shed. Not a huge deal. My tools are safe. Nothing electrical got water on it. It's just really annoying that we haven't prepared for this when it was sunny. Challenge number 3. Solar energy. What you can see behind me is 5 panels. Each one is 410 watt, which brings the total of our solar capacity to about 2000 watt. And that's nowhere near enough when it's really dark outside and when it's raining. You know, we keep seeing efficiency of 10%, which is enough to keep my laptop running, which is good for work, but it's not good for anything else. And we do have to manage our power quite efficiently, and unfortunately it's meant that we haven't been able to edit the vlogs, because that's what Kinga does, and there just hasn't been enough power for us both to use our power hungry laptops. But anyway, what I wanted to say here is our system runs without batteries. I say that, we do have 4 tiny 12 volt batteries which just keep the inverter powered. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, this is something we have planned for, and we have brought a generator with us that has been gifted to us, and which, thank you by the way, thank you Dad. and it's this little generator. And you know, we thought it's going to be raining for like 1 or 2 days, so we'll just put that on and you know, it'll be alright. Unfortunately that's not the case, and it is something that I've learned on this journey. Basically this generator doesn't really want to work with our inverter charger that's in that box there, and neither does it want to work with our van, which is pretty much the same kind of an inverter. The reason for that is because the voltage that this outputs varies every second or every millisecond or whatever, and the tools or anything that doesn't require a pure sine wave works fine with that. I've tested it, it's a great generator, small, cheap, light, you know, great for doing a bit of work on a property. However, it's not very good if you want to run a solar off-grid array. For that, what you need is something called an inverter generator, which I'm not going to show you now whilst I'm talking because it's in the back of the van. I'm going to tell you why in a minute. I had to put the camera down because it's pretty heavy. So we decided to go on a spending spree and we bought a new generator. It cost us about 600 euros, but it was the right type. Inverter generator, 2000 watt peak. So we thought this would be a good long-term solution. This is probably the right amount of energy you need when you're down to the bare minimum. We probably use about a kilowatt of energy, you know, and it's enough. Obviously we're not going to put washing on, we're not going to have aircon running or anything like that, but in the bare minimum a kilowatt is probably more than enough. So with a 2 kilowatt peak we thought this would be a great solution, and it has been for the first 3 days, and then it broke. We do have 3 years warranty on this item. However, a little side note is we've heard that even with warranty we're not going to get our money back. The item is just going to be sent to be repaired, and sometimes that can take months. So we're going to try and repair it ourselves, and if that's not going to work we're going to return it and we're going to fight to get our money back. So I'm going to put this one away, our little backup generator. Shut this. The reason the generator stopped working, I think, is because I did fill it up in the rain. So it is possible that water got into the petrol tank. I drained all the petrol out. I tried to clean the carburetor, whatever it's called, and unfortunately I still can't get it started. The spark is there. Not sure. I'm hoping we can get it fixed, because it has been a lifesaver when it worked. What's positive though is that we've got full rainwater collection tank. What we've got here is a full IBC tank, and because that was overflowing we also got a rainwater barrel. I laid it flat and it's just filled it up to that point there, and all I'm doing is a little gravity fed system, just using that hose which is quite high up, and if it gets anywhere near overflowing it just goes into there. Anything else pours out. I can use that hose to fill up the caravan water tank as well. And what King is doing now is using rainwater to fill our toilet. Yep. In the caravan. There we go. Rain is very well needed, especially in this region, especially in a country like Portugal that does have long periods of the year when there is no rainfall. So I think it's very, you know, it's a blessing, and I think it's up to us how we deal with that. One of the positives has been rainwater collection. Another positive is that we've now got thriving trees that we've just planted. Because the soil is now so muddy, it's been easy to plant because it's been easier to work with the soil. We've planted 5 trees along our fence. This side we're gonna have bushes like blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, all the berries. And this is gonna be part of our privacy fence. What are you up to?
Cleaning out the van and putting everything away so that we can drive when you're ready.
Are you ready for an adventure? You've been stuck inside because it's so wet, right? Everything's a mess, so don't judge us. The plan for today is to get this place locked up. We've got what we need and we are going on an adventure. We are on our way to see our wizard who fixed our strimmer in the summer. I think he's really good with engines, so I'm thinking he might be able to help us with the generator. And then we're going to try and find a building merchant that might help us with our gravel situation. I left the generator with the gentleman and he told me to come back on Tuesday afternoon. It is now a Saturday, so in 3 days hopefully the generator is going to be fixed. Until then we're going to base up at a campsite.
We've had our breakfast now and we'll be heading to find a building merchant next. I think we found something.
Finally the sun has come out, but it's still not stopped raining. It's been raining for 15 days or 16 days now, and we decided to base up on a campsite for a few days, have access to unlimited power and unlimited water, and not get stuck in mud as we are waiting for our generator to be fixed and our gravel to be delivered later in the week. And with that being said, there's not much else for us to film for the next few days, so I'm going to end it here. Thank you for watching and hopefully see you next week.